Hey there guys, this is Lorenzo, author of 31 Days to Live in the Kill Project, and you are watching episode 10 of Keeping It Real with Team Awesome. Anyway, since June I've been doing this weekly web series for the past couple of weeks, and here we are at episode 10, and I decided to talk about abusive relationships. But let's focus on the women. I'm not saying that men don't go through this, because they do, but it's not on the level that women do. So, by further ado, let's do this. 8 reasons why women stay in abusive relationships. Number 1, disordered thoughts. Now we know that being controlled and being hurt leads to, confusion and possibly doubts, which is why women need to have some type of clarity when they're making decisions. And if they're making decisions based off of peer pressure and thinking and doing are two different things. At least when you give yourself time to think, you have time to make wiser choices. But when you're in the mindset of confusion, that leads to disordered thoughts, and women tend to do that a lot. And it's usually because of an emotional thing. And that's a big problem because, we are very sensitive and emotional people. And sometimes we tend to do things without thinking. Number 2, fear. Now, with fear, now you're at the point where you're afraid. You're scared that something is going to happen to you or someone else, or even the person that you're with. And the fear of not standing up for yourself, not knowing your self-worth, which is number 3, self-worth, that can lead to failure because now you're afraid to do what's right. You're afraid that something is going to happen to you if you decide to make a wise decision, because this person that you're with is striking fear in your head, and it leads to an emotional roller coaster, which is why I said number 1, which was disordered thoughts. Number 4, children. Now, for those of you guys who have children, sometimes women feel that if they stay in a relationship with a man and having kids involved, that can keep the relationship tight. Well, guess what? I'm sorry to say this, but kids are not guaranteed to keep a relationship strong and going. It can actually do the opposite sometimes, because what happens if your kids are in danger? You no longer think about yourself, you think about them and wanting to protect them at all costs because you don't want anything to happen to them, which leads you to not protecting yourself. So that's why sometimes women stay in these relationships, because they're afraid that once they leave, something could possibly happen to their kids and they forget about their own safety. Number 5, financial reasons. What happens if the person you're with is financially stable, but they're financially stable and they're still mistreating you? They're dealing with you for the wrong reasons. They're not only holding their money hostage, taking care of themselves, making sure that they got it together, but they are using you, whether you got it together or not. They're using you, and they're taking your money, and they're using you as beneficial reasons to prevent them from using their money. Financial gain. Number 6, family expectations. What happens if you grew up in a household where daddy was always abusing mommy, and now you put this thought in your head that now I'm dating somebody that's like my father? And that could lead you to possibly thinking that this is love, this is what relationships deal with, the abuse and all. Well, the only physicality that you should be dealing with is hugs, kisses, and intimacy, not getting black eyes, bruises, and possible injuries that can cost you your life. I think we're at number 6 now, because I went over 5 things. I think I said disordered thoughts, fear, financial gain, children. Number 6, I want to say isolation, because here's the thing about certain guys, especially people that are jealous. Guys tend to control and manipulate and abuse you and cause you to think that you are worthless, that you're a piece of trash, that you don't deserve better, that you will not find any better than who you're with right now. If I'm trying to leave you behind, clearly I am going to find better than you, because why would I want to stay in a relationship that is going to hold me back, prevent me from growth, and thinking that I'm not going to get anything better out of it. Number 7, I want to talk about change. Women feel that they could change a person. I'm sorry, you can't change a person. The only person that could change themselves is what I just said, themselves. Women feel that they could be the savior of a relationship, thinking that, oh, if I stay with this person, maybe he will change. Maybe he will do better. Maybe he will realize that he is doing wrong. Well, clearly, if he hasn't improved, if he still is the same person that he was when he first started with you and hasn't made any progress, then there was no change at all. The only person that's changing right now is you. You're changing into the possible downfall of the rest of your life. And last but not least, settling for less. Lack of motivation. When you lack in motivation and think that you don't deserve better, you don't decide to go for somebody else. You decide to stick with what you're with, and then that leads to settling for less. You don't know your value. You don't know your worth. And that's the biggest problem with women these days. They don't know their worth. You are capable of great things, ladies. Do better. You can always find better people out there if you take the time to sit down and get to know them, understand their history, do more listening than talking, and just don't jump the gun when you're in the dating scene. Don't have sex on the first night either, because what you're doing is you're giving a person a cookie when he could get that cookie from somebody else. You get me? So make him work for it. Make him work for it, because if he can't get it from you, he's going to clearly get it from somebody else, because he knows that you got your foot down and not wanting to deal with the nonsense that he is bringing to the table. If you have nothing to offer to the table besides your body, then you get what you deserve, because you are telling him that the only thing I offer is sex, and that's it. Nothing else. No growth, no spirituality, no healthy relationship, nothing but toxic and lust. Anyway, this is the longest episode that I made concerning keeping it real. But I hope that you guys take this into consideration and use these 8 tactics on why you possibly stay in an abusive relationship. And for those that you are watching that might be in currently one, get out now. And don't be afraid to do the right thing, because you will always find somebody else better out there than the person that you may be with that is doing you wrong, because you deserve better. Know your self-worth and know your self-value. That's all I got to say. Thank you for watching episode 10. Peace out, guys.